Hi there, and a happy St. Patty's Day to those of you celebrating, and welcome to another Sunny Days podcast at jollyville.com. That's JALEAVILLE.com. And I'm your host, Jolly. And today we've got a couple of more uplifting stories and some more Did You Know and some other stuff. So grab a cup of sunshine and let's get started. Our first story up today begins with a walk through Raw Way Trail in the South Mountain Reservation of Millbourne, New Jersey. You might spot more than leaves and trees and chipmunks there. Fairies live among the foliage. Small, whimsical cottages are hidden in the tree trunks and branches, a surprisingly sweet sight in an otherwise rather normal looking forest. The fairy homes were built not by the mythical creatures, though, but by volunteers. The idea to add these tiny dwellings to the landscape came from a woman named Teresa Obway, who 10 years ago wanted her son, who has autism, to have a safe place to explore the wilderness. So she found this Rawway trail and started leaving fairy tidbits, here and there, so that when he came, he had something that he could look for. And over time, she kept filling it up even more. Well, the South Mountain Conservation saw and noticed these tiny little creatures popping up in the forest. And when they learned that Teresa was hand making these tiny little fairy fixtures, they decided to allow her to continue building her magical kingdom to what it is now, known as Fairy Trail. She thought this was a dynamic way of getting little children into nature, getting them to use their imaginations, getting them to tap into their creativity and to stimulate both early childhood and special needs children, said Miss Beth Kelly, another trail keeper. Miss Teresa and her son have long since moved from the area, but their fairy tale legacy lives on. Miss Gould and Miss Kelly were officially asked to become the makers and keepers of the trail. These women, along with other volunteers, continue to build little wooden homes for their fairies. The houses do have to be up to code. And in case, the code is Julian Beth code, and Kelly says jokingly, because we need to give these fairies a stable house to live in. So we ask people to just work with us. Keep it all natural. Keep the colors down. Most of the homes are made out of natural elements that can disintegrate back into the forest. This is really about a magical feeling when you come here. It touches your heart. It gives you a sense of wonder, imagination, creativity. It all blends and bonds with nature, Kelly says. That's how we get paid. We get paid when we get to interact with the hearts of children who come here and make it their day. This is just a magical place for them. Ah, that's beautiful. Beautiful ideas inspire beautiful joy. Thank you, ladies. And now, Jolly Chat story time. What else today but the great carrot race? In a charming meadow with blooming flowers, a bustling community of bunnies prepared for their annual Easter carrot hunt. The air was just filled with the sweet scent of spring and the meadow coming alive with excitement. The bunnies, young and old, gathered at the starting line, each clutching a brightly colored basket. With a signal from the elder bunny, the hunt begins. Some bunnies darted into the tall grass while others hopped from flower to flower, searching for hidden carrots. Laughter filled the air as they uncovered one orange treasure after another, their baskets quickly filling up. After the hunt, the bunnies gathered for a series of fun filled activities. They painted colorful eggs, they raced through obstacle courses, and they even held a bunny hop competition. Everyone joined in, young and old alike. Their furry faces were beaming with joy. As the day drew to a close, the bunnies sat down to a grand feast. The meadow was transformed into a banquet hall with tables adorned with flowers and carrots. But the highlight of the meal was the towering carrot cake, its layers moist and delicious, topped with cream cheese frosting and carrot curls. With a cheer, the bunnies dug into the cake, savoring every bite. They shared stories of their adventures, laughed at their mishaps, haps and enjoyed each other's company under the twinkling stars. As the night wore on, the bunnies gathered around a crackling fire, bellies full, hearts warmed. It had been a day of laughter, friendship, and celebration. A perfect Easter in the meadow. The end. And a sunny day's happy birthday shout out next to one Miss Jane Burns, who turned 100 last summer. She told her friends that she had one wish, and that was to keep working. The centenarian actually was only half kidding. She also wished for a small birthday party and the health of her 7 great grandchildren, too. Now, Miss Jane has had the same part-time job as a fabric cutter at the Joann Fabric and Craft Store in Mason, Ohio for 26 years. And it's still one of her favorite ways to spend time. I can enjoy what I do. And so I want to keep doing it, she says. I'll work for as long as I can, or for as long as they'll have me. Miss Jane, who turned 101 last July, didn't plan on working past 100. As a matter of fact, she's tried retiring several times throughout her 70s and 80s, but then she would unretire just a few months later, only to take bookkeeping jobs at veterinarian offices or accounting firms. Prior to her joining Joann's, Miss Jane was a bookkeeper for most of her career. The best part of her job, she says, it's the people. I enjoy talking to everyone I work with and meeting the customers who are very nice. She says, even if some of them were surprised to see me at the cutting table. For the past 26 years, Miss Jane has followed the same morning routine almost every day. She wakes up at 5 o'clock, enjoys a cup of coffee, usually, she says, paired with a donut, and she gets ready for work before driving 20 minutes to the store to be there at its 9 o'clock opening. She typically works from 9 until 1, 3 to 4 days a week, but she never works on Thursday. That, she says, is reserved for self-care, getting her hair styled at the salon and shopping. She also tries to spend time with her family on her days off. In addition to those 7 great grandchildren, Miss Jane has 3 grandchildren, 3 children, and they all live in Cincinnati. Ultimately, there's no secret to living a longer, happier life, she says. You just have to keep working. It helps. Staying busy keeps you from focusing on your aches and pains, and that makes it easier to keep going. A very sunny days. Happy birthday to you, Miss Jane, and many more to come. And now for some Did You Know? A few celebrations or days of observations we'll be looking at here in March are going to be Ramadan. It began March 10th. It lasts for 30 days. Ramadan is the 9th month of an Islamic calendar observed by Muslims worldwide as a month of fasting, prayer, reflection, and community. We'll also be celebrating Easter here at the end of the month, March 31st. Easter is also called Resurrection Sunday, and it is a Christian festival and cultural holiday commemorating the resurrection of Jesus from the dead. It is described in the Old Testament as having occurred on the 3rd day of his burial following his crucifixion by the Romans at Calvary. Now, some non-religious observations to make mention of. It is Disability Awareness Month. Watch out for those chairs out there. And as nature begins to bloom again, environmental enthusiasts can celebrate with holidays like National Plant a Flower Day, National Agricultural Day, International Day of Forest, and National Learn About Butterflies Day. Yeah, there's a lot of nature things happening, but here we are right at spring, right? And St. Patrick's Day, of course, today is the most notable March's most famous annual holiday. It is also Women's History Month. So helping women celebrate throughout history and their amazing accomplishments. Busy month marches. And now in the entertainment news, okay, I just can't help mention Beyonce's much discussed country single Texas Hold'em. It hit #1 in both the US and the UK last month, the first time she's had a simultaneous chart topper on both sides of the Atlantic since 2003. Beyonce scored her 9th #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 And it was announced a couple of weeks ago, 1 week after she became the first Black woman to top Billboard's Hot Country Songs. At the same time, Texas Hold'em became her first number one hit in the UK since Telephone, which was her 2010 debut with Lady Gaga. Amazing. Texas Hold'em makes Beyonce only one of two artists, along with Mariah Carey, to have hit the top of the Hot 100 in four distinct decades. Congratulations to you, Miss B. Congratulations to you. And now on to the TV entertainment. Let's see what's going on with the most watched, most streamed TV shows. Well, if you need something to binge, here's some of the most watched titles from Apple to Disney to Max, Netflix, Peacock, Prime, and more. Top 10 list of TV shows that are binge worthy right now. True Detective, showing on Max. Resident Alien on Netflix, on Peacock, Direct TV stream. Next one, Tracker, which is showing on Paramount, CBS. The Tourist, which is showing on Netflix. One Day, also on Netflix. Masters of the Air, Apple TV. Mr. and Miss Smith is now showing on Prime Video. Halo is on Paramount. Feud, Truman Capote and the Swans, showing on Hulu. And Young Sheldon is on Netflix, Max, DirecTV, and Paramount. Some movies that are worthy of mentioning. How about Oppenheimer, showing on Peacock? The Holdovers, showing on Peacock. Past Lives on Paramount Plus and also on Showtime. Killers of the Flower Moon on Apple TV. Upgraded, Prime Video. How about Dune? It is showing on both Netflix and Max. Society of the Snow, showing on Netflix. Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning Part 1 is now on Paramount Plus. Bottoms is showing on Prime Video, MGM, and MGM. And last but not least, Players is showing it on Netflix. Well, as we come to the close of another episode, let's remember that the stories we've shared can serve as a reminder of the goodness that surrounds us every day. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So find your beauty, shine, and share it. Remember to spread love, joy, and positivity whenever and wherever you go. See you next week for some more stories, entertainment news, fun facts, and more. And until then, peace and love always. And thank you for tuning in to the Sunny Days podcast at jollyville.com. That's JALEAVILLE.com. Thank you.